Hi, friends and fellow viewers. Welcome to today's episode of Coffee Conversation, powered by Lions Club of Mumbai Shining, the Emerging India Forum TIF, and India Business Group, Chamber of Commerce IBG. The theme for today's conversation is the Emerging Student, Episode 1. And today, Mr. Mansoor Thakral and I, Jolly Singh, will be hosting and co-hosting today's coffee conversation. For our today's coffee conversation, we have today with us Vishal Lohare. Vishal Lohare is an advocate and senior placement coordinator and is currently doing an MBA in law from Narsee Monjee Institute of Management Studies, Mumbai. We welcome you, Vishal. Now, let's get started with today's conversation. Over to you, Mansoor.
Thank you, Johnny. Vishal, it's a great pleasure to have you today with us over here at the Coffee Conversation. All right. So a little bit about, let's start the coffee conversation with a very simple question. So You graduated in 2019 and you have done several PGDM in IPR, currently pursuing PGDM in security laws and so on. What made you go in for the MBA in law? Any particular reasons that you have done that?
Yeah, so basically, there are a couple of reasons. So, as you stated, that I have completed my graduation and I'm doing a PGDM. The thing was that I used to work for a company, Aeron Creditech company. So, therein, although I was absorbed for the legal role, I was absorbed in the managerial role as well. I had to do a lot of managerial cases like securing property, all like Pan India. I also had to understand the business running aspects of the company, and it really fascinated me a lot. So my CEO was Mr. Krishnan, was very intrigued by me, and he saw me, and I was really very keen to know all these aspects as well, because as lawyers it is always urged for win the cases, but when you're in-house you need to understand that there is cost cutting measures, there is a business understanding, and we had to focus on all these aspects. So I had a word with him, I had a word with seniors as well, with my parents as well, and I decided in the short term an MBA will do good for me from the managerial aspects, because if I want to go up the ladder and if I want to go in a GC role or a top KMP role, MBA will definitely help me. So this was one of the decisions which I took in.
Is there any particular benefit for someone who actually is currently trying to do MBA in law? Is there any kind of a beneficial part if someone really wants to do it? And what are the benefits does one get if they really enroll themselves into MBA in law?
So, see, I can answer this question in two aspects. So if I speak personally about myself, I would like to state that the thing is, we aim to be a general counsel of a company. So not only to know the legal aspects, but as well as the business aspects as well. And MBA law, this course particularly dwells you or directs you in that direction. So basically, you're pivoting from litigation, co-litigation or non-co-litigation to in-house role. We have subjects like private equity, venture capitalist, FDI. So these are all emerging sectors, and India is going to be the world domination in a few years because a lot of FDI is coming. So if you look at from a board eye view, you can see that there are a lot of other opportunities to do at the MBA law course. And someone who is different from me, like those who want to go into managerial roles or want to go into HR roles, marketing roles, operation roles, this can be a diversion for them as well. So if you go to see it, it is basically hand in glove with two different things. Either you want to go for the general counsel role, or you want to directly shift yourself from MBA from law to the managerial aspects. This is the answer.
Okay. Right. We even know that you have done some diplomas in cyber laws as well as some certification courses in GDPR. So could you please give us some light on that? What was these courses that you have done about?
So GDPR is something, which each and every industry, every sector, every company is going to cover. In India, recently, there are two bills which are yet to be tabled. One is the Personal Data Protection Bill, and the second is the Digital India Act. Personal Data Protection Bill, it deals with the personal data. So any company who is dealing in personal data processing, be it Google, in India, Google, Facebook, or any of these apps per se, so they have to have a very strict and a regulatory regime for this. Currently, a lot of data has been misused. We all can see that there are currently a lot of data. You get phones from banks, you get phones from various companies. How do they get the numbers? There has to be some regulatory check on that.
Right.
This is one aspect. Second aspect is the Digital India Act, yet to be tabled. It's a bill as well. So this is about to transform the IT technology. The IT technology, IT Act 2000 is going to be repealed and the Digital India Act is going to come into place. So cyber law plays a role in this aspect. So if you see, law basically connects everything. Be you be in any field, any industry, any sector. Law is going to be connected to you. So, I'm just taking up flavors of all these different studies like securities law, like cyber law, IPR. Because when I reach a KMP role, I know that this is going to come very handy for me. And if working in a conglomerate, if you have to work across various industries, and I think that can come into play at that moment.
All right. So if you could tell us something about your journey, from school to college, how would you like to put your journey in words?
School to college, well, that's a very subjective thing. So I was a most outstanding student, and by outstanding I mean outside the class. Yeah. Yeah. I was into sports. I have played football, cricket for colleges. I have represented my college in different divisions and departments. So I was a sports student purely. I had a knee injury, ligament injuries, which I had to stop my football career. I went back on it, but then not the same chose to pursue it. So student to college is different because you meet new friends. And I am from Borivali IC College. So we had this all boys school, St. Francis DSC High School. It was a very notorious school. I'm sure if anyone hears this thing, and they will surely agree with me. But the school was very good. We had a lot of activities. We had our own playground. It was fun. Going into college, yes, it was a different perspective altogether. Getting to meet new people from different walks of life, interacting with them. It was good. I still have friends, so I'm a people's person. So I am still in connect with those people. And yes, it's a different journey. I think school to college is something everyone experiences, and it is once in a lifetime opportunity. Make the best of it.
And like you said, you were an outstanding student. Like I mean by the outstanding word. So
Yeah.
what were the reasons that you used to get to be thrown out of the class or be like, class ke baad jaake khade raho? So any particular reasons for that?
Yeah, so we had this sports, right? So we had to play sports. So we used to miss the first two lectures, and the third lecture we had to go inside the club. I used to always be late for that. Plus, I was tall, so I'd sit on the last bench, and from focusing on the last bench is very difficult. Having fun, messing around with friends, and so a lot of other activities which I cannot say here. So had led me to be thrown out of the class.
Okay. Would you like to share some experience of yours since you have been an advocate?
So yeah, advocacy is something I feel that is mind blowing. I still remember the first time I went to court. I mean, I had gone to the court as an intern, but the first time I stood before the sessions court as an advocate, said filing my wakalatnama and filing a AB application, I trembled. I shook. I was like, my God, did I come? What is the judge going to say to me? And I trembled. It was a very different experience. I got scared, to be honest, because this is the first time you present in front of the coach or filing an application. Will you accept the application or will he send you? And I still remember one time what happened was that the PP, the public prosecutor, because it was against the state, it's a criminal matter. So, I stood first and I'm telling, and the thing was, it was her chance. So I was very nervous in that thing. But that gave me a lot of confidence. It told me that you should always read your brief and go. And I learned a lot from my first experience. So advocacy is something, it's once in a lifetime opportunity. I practiced a lot. I have gone into various courts. I've got orders in favor of my clients. Yeah, but the first time was terrifying. I won't forget that.
What role, in your opinion, may advocates play in affecting the meaningful social change? Any opinion on that?
Yes, I think PIL is one of these aspects. So basically, when PIL is filed, it takes into concern the general concern of the people, and then they come to an advocate. There are a lot of eminent advocates in India, and everyone knows them, and they do a lot of social causes to this. Because uplifting the poor and the below poverty line is something which needs to happen. Because there is a very great disparity between the rich and the poor in India. Bridging that gap by way of providing them equal opportunities, equalities is something which we advocates should look up to. So I was in, there was this movie, Brand Banks. It's a USA movie. So it was based upon a biopic upon one of the baseball NFL players and how he got convicted for a rape case. And it was a real story. So I saw that movie and I was so inspired by it, is that I connected to the real advocate who presented the case, Justino Brooks. I messaged him on LinkedIn, I messaged him on Twitter, I had a word with him, and it was crazy. He spoke to me, he told me that if you want to try something in India, let's do something. Obviously, at that time, I didn't have the manpower to start something, but this is one thing which I always remember, that Brand Banks, Justino Brooks, they replied to my text and they had a word with me about how under trials who are not yet guilty are still under trials. This is one thing which I really look up to. I think social change has to be in some way or another.
So in a way, how did this movie inspire you? Like when you saw it, like how did it exactly like hit you? Like, okay, this is the movie that's inspiring me. Were there any kind of triggers that happened?
Yeah, see, I had primarily dealt into a lot of criminal offenders. So I have gone to jails and I've seen a lot of people are under trial for crimes they have not been committed or for false cases. So, you have a pity for them because, you never know what can turn up in life. Anyone comes and tells you, you have done this, you have done that, as a false case and you are into jail. And, they have no chance to represent yourself. So I felt that, this is something wrong which is happening. And if you see the statistics, like I do not remember the statistics right now, but there are more than 10 to 15,000 under trials who are not yet convicted and still in jail. So if you look at this from a social change perspective, because a person who, let's say, has a false case or something at the age of 18, till 26, 27, there is no court date, there is no hearing, nothing is happening. So his life is getting wasted, It's a very big, important aspect because those are his formative years. And when one should complete those years and then he goes out and he has nothing to do. So he continue doing robbery or doing some other illegal activities and again go back. It's a vicious circle. To break those things, you need to have a positive impact on them. So this one is what Brand Banks taught me, because in the end, he went and played an NFL official match. That is, yeah.
And I would definitely go and watch this movie. This movie is available on Netflix.
I am a Telegram user.
Okay. I'll definitely Google it and try watching this movie. It sounds very interesting.
Yes.
Okay. What would be your recommendation for the new applicants for preparing for a job interviews, for beginning for a new position? Any piece of advice you would like to give them?
Okay. So, prepare a hygiene question answers. Hygiene questions are those which are normally asked. But prior to that, first read about the JD, the KRAs, the KPIs. Go and connect with people who are working in that specific role which you are eyeing for, because they will give a 360 view. Try to reaching out to few people, but in various companies, so that they will give you an absolute idea about what the role is, what are your requirements, what updated you need to be, what skill set you need to have. Because it's not only on what is on your CV, it's about a lot of other things like interpersonal skills, a lot of other things like if you look at communication skills, how you present cases. It is a wide area and you need to cover all those things, because once you sit in an interview, you have to give your best and you have to get that 100%. So build small steps before the interview, so you have a collective effort, and when you have your interview, put in that effort and you get the result.
What are some of the social concerns which you advocate?
One is the under trials that you already spoke.
Okay.
Secondly, I have seen that, I'm sorry for the feminism part, but there are a lot of false rape cases I've been filing. I had basically filed an application against one of these things, and I had got an order in favor of my client because there was a wrong case filed against him, rape case. So I have seen that this is being misused by a lot of other extent, by a lot of women. And so I feel that this is one thing must be curbed at a very great level, because if this does not happen, we see something things new coming up and coming under trials, rape, false rape cases, and there are plenty of issues in India. You know that. So if you catch each and every sector, there are tremendous. So I'll have to focus and rethink of something new. But these are two things which I feel at the current mode should happen. There is also this thing known as the manual scavenger thing which is going on. If you know that they are dying. So Miss Abba, she's an advocate, great advocate. She's doing a very good social cause on this, and I really salute her for the same.
If you would not be into the field of law, what would be your career choice?
As I'm doing MBA now, so if I will not join law, I think I would have gone for operations. But my key role has always been in that, is to work at a KMP level. So CEO, like Chief Operating Officer or Chief Investment Officer, because I am dealing with private equity and venture capital funds and companies. So I have worked there, so I know what they do. So startups is something which has amazed me. India is coming up with so much. So if any advisory or consultancy roles in these aspects of startups and fintechs and all these upcoming new age businesses, something which I look up to, apart from law. So I think finance will be needed, operation will be needed, a whole bunch of these things. But yeah.
All right. Okay. So that is the part about the professional part of it. Now I'd like to invite Jolly to take you through the talk yourself moment. So over to you.
Real
Jolly.
Questions.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Mansoor, and hi, Vishal. So in this segment, we are calling it "Let Us Know You" session, where we would be like having questions and knowing about what do you think, what is your opinion in those aspects and those areas, and a little bit about you as well. So starting with my first questions, as you said, answered Mansoor, that one of the social topics that you would be picking up is the speedy trial for the under trials and the fake rape cases which are being filed and everything. So also, like, as of now, you are doing MBA and you also vision yourself being a general counsel for the corporates and companies. So how do you plan your future with that respect? As you said, like when you were offered to start something new, you did not had the manpower. When you were talking with your icon and everything, you said like you did not had the manpower at that point of time to start something new, to start something revolutionary. But what are your future plans, or do you plan something at all, like apart from being following your vision and being the general counsel, to work for these social topics and contribute to the society? What do you think, and what would be your plans?
Thank you, Jolly, for asking this question. So, if you look at my vision currently is obviously working on council roles, but we have organizations set up. One of which is set up by my sir. Okay, so he basically deals into this under trial thing, and I was able to connect with him recently only when he started this organization of speedy trials for under trials. So I had a word with him, and how can I help? So see, there are various costs involved because being an advocate, you cannot do everything for free. So if we connect with the right people or we take cases, what we can do is we can take last year law students or the final year law students. We can groom them in a way such that they can go and present cases in favor of these under trials. Plus, we can provide a remuneration to them. Because at the end of the day, no one will work for free for a country's period of time. It happens for once or twice. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So what I can do is, I can provide the remuneration part, my advisory part about how should we work on specific cases. But in the end, it is about working towards a desired goal, that is getting the convict, so that getting the accused who is not yet guilty outside. Because if you are guilty, you are bound to face the court charging. So this is something I look forward to. Same goes for the rape cases and the false rape cases. Because so my sir has made an organization wherein he works with various lawyers, all upcoming lawyers, and he basically trains them about what we can do and what we cannot do in all these cases. So this is one step, and I can contribute either by advising and consulting and providing about remuneration But per se, once you join corporates, you cannot practice in courts. So this is the only way which I can help you.
All right. So my next question to you, Vishal, would be that how are you maintaining your work-life balance? You said you are like, as of now, also you are an advocate. You are a practicing advocate, and like you are also pursuing your MBA in law. So how are you maintaining the work-life balance while also dealing with the emotional demands of your job and the hectic schedule? How you are maintaining it?
Well, I think it's all mindset. You have to have mindset of balancing everything out. I give equal time to my work, equal time even to my MBA. Both are equally important in life. And if I cannot choose one and choose other, because you cannot look from one eye and not look from another. You need to learn to balance things. It's quite. Like I said, it depends upon the mindset. So if you have a strong mindset, you know what you want to do at what time. One more thing is prioritizing your time. Like when you wake up, you should know that these are the activities which you can do first, which will take less time or which will take more time. So I prioritize my day every day before night so that I know what to do the next morning and I can achieve my goals or my small set of goals which I want to achieve. And this is how I plan to work out the work-life balance. End of the day, some things will be achieved, some things will not be achieved. But then it gives you the motivation to get up again and do these things again. So yes, so this is how I balance, but it is purely on mindset, I think.
Absolutely. So what would you say about some of the interesting facts that an advocate has and very few people know, because there are like a lot of misconceptions and lots of myths in the society about advocates, I would say. So what do you think about those?
One thing is that जो movie में होता है वो real life में नहीं होता है.
Definitely.
एकदम, yes, because you go in courts, the judge never says order, 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 order. That is she says one word and the entire court gets silent. One thing is that. Speaking on the advocate side, it is a very professional thing which goes on. So I have seen a few movies where they try to mock advocates or show them, in such a way, or it's derogatory. It's not derogatory, but it shows them such a way that anything can happen in court. Whereas it is very strict. If the judge is angry that day and you are presenting the wrong case, you are gone. So this is something very structured, especially in the tier 1 cities. Advocates, some cities or advocates, they are very good negotiators. They know what to negotiate at what point. If you think that free mein kara raha hai wo, he knows what he'll get in return. Yeah, so this is one thing. Secondly, if you see, they are very good observers. Most of the advocates, they always show their card at the right moment, and that is the biggest asset of which I feel is a skill of an advocate. Because if you see all prominent advocates, I will not name them because they're all very big person, but they know when to show their cards. Sometimes being smart in the room enough is when you keep quiet. This is something which we have to learn from advocates, because they know, because they will speak at the exactly right time, and that is the most important aspect which I feel is something which advocates have, and I think everyone should have, because these are all interpersonal skills and communication skills. But showing your card at the right time is the most important to win a case.
Definitely. So, what do you think? What role advocates play in creating a positive society change? How they can bring changes in the society and influence the society in a positive way?
Well, the common question is all advocates and how become politicians. Kapil Sibal, and there are tons and tons and tons of advocates who are advocates practicing in Supreme Courts, plus they are politicians. Because see, the entire country runs on a very governmental framework. So it is regarding policies, bills, rules, regulations. So getting a positive impact from advocates is that one very way is you can join a party and you can advocate those rights. You can show what is right, what is wrong. We have a lot of advocates in Bombay as well who are named politicians. So this is one very important thing which advocates can play as a role, like after becoming politician, joining a party. Apart from that, PI, as I stated, it plays a very important societal change in the society. I guess these are the two things.
So, but Vishal, what would you say about the negative aspects that as of now, advocates are also being more about on a commercial side, preferring more money over the ethics and bringing change, so-called change in the society. What would you say about it? Because not all advocates are advocating the positive changes in the society, but they have different other goals as well for their life.
See, good and bad exist together, so they have to exist because there is a balance. You cannot, they cannot only be good people everywhere. There has to be bad people. So the good and the bad, they balance each other. This happens in almost all industries, but it depends upon the conscience of a person. It's person to person basis. You cannot judge the whole basket by one fruit. You have to see other fruits as well and whether they are good or bad enough. So this is one thing which I focus. Secondly, negative aspects. See, on the monetary aspect. So the life cycle of an advocate is very different. So the first 10 years, you will get very less cases and very few money. Let's catch from 25 to 35. From 35 to 45, you will get good amount of money and lot cases. And in the last leg of your life, what happens is that you get less cases but a lot of money. So the thing is, when you see your peers, like those who are into managerial fields, those who are into various other fields, when you are just not even struggling, when you are just 21, 35, when you're making a family, they have already achieved the desired result and they have their financial obligations to be met. So monetary aspects affects advocates, because I still remember I have also worked for a free for a lot of time. I was junior advocate as well. I used to get a very monetary stipend of 5,000 even after being an advocate. So you understand the efforts which are put in by advocates and getting very less money. So recently, the Chief Justice of India also advocated this aspect that let the interns should get paid, the junior advocates should get paid, because you have no motivation to work for. And if you don't have that proper family backing, then it's very difficult to exist in today's life. So I think monetary aspects should be concerned for the advocates. Negative aspects are there in all causes of life, all walks of life. What we can do is focus on the right thing and the good things and get the desired result.
Definitely. So my next question would be that what piece of advice would you give to someone who is interested in pursuing law as a career, like for the upcoming generations who are like fresh?
Advice, okay. So according to me, first figure out what is your specialization, what is your niche, what do you want to do. Agar law bhi karna hai, then what in law you want to do, because law is tremendous. You can go litigation. In litigation, there is civil, criminal, rental, and tons of other ACRERA and so on. You go into non-litigation, it's in-house, it's FDI, PEVC, it's SMEs, IPOs, investment banking, tons and tons of things. Figure that one thing out and specialize in that and do your best in that, and then you're bound to get the right company, the right profile, and the right job. But then first figuring out is something which even I have not figured out when I was in my college. Yeah, I understand that right now. So that is why I'm saying that first figure out what you want to do, which sector, because once you delve into the subject, into the sector, you have to go till the roots. This is where you get specialized and you get to know the exact basic things of what the law is, how it is applied, international law, arbitration. There is tons of things. So just choose 1 to 2 fields and then swim into that and reach the bottom.
Yes, I well agreed that identifying the niche is the first step, I would say, for any fresher who joins law and everything. So enough with the formal questions. It has been like too much formal questions for you. So now tell us like what kind of a person you are outside the courtroom when you are not speaking of law. What kind of a person you are?
As I said, I'm a people's person. I have good amount of friends who I chill with, we party, we roam, we hang out. I am also a leader because भाई जिधर भी जाने का है तो I just always take your gang and go. So that is one thing which I focus on. So, and not leadership in any such way that कि मैं ही boss हूँ. is that, just bring everyone together. Everyone should be together, have fun, enjoy, but be together in good and bad times is what is very important. सिर्फ अच्छे time के लिए आके you leave out is not what I feel about. So this is one thing. I'm also a very chill person. I love talking to new people, speaking on various ideas, creativity, what is their background. As in my MBA law, I have candidates from Assam. Assam, I have never been there, but I have met him and his story is all too different. I have people from Northeast, I have people from Chennai, and just understanding from where they have come in. Basically, tier 2 and tier 3 cities, which I've seen, these people don't have much opportunities in their hometowns, but the fire in the belly to go out and do something is tremendous, because I have always stayed in Bombay. For me, it's a fast city. We have grown up here. We know all the slangs, all the areas. But it's very normal. But coming out from there and, getting into all these integrities is something which is very good, which I would like to explore once I get to move out with new job opportunities in a new place. It's going to be new for me as well. So I feel this is one thing which I really look out to. And apart from that, I'm a very chill person and I love being around people.
So what do you like to do in your free time? Like, is it travel, Netflix and chill? What kind sort of a person? You are a people's person, but when you are on your own, what kind of leisure activities you prefer?
I read books. So I'm reading Hooked by Neil Ryan. So Hooked, I read books. I play PS. I used to play PS, football, FIFA. Then leisure time. So I spend a lot of time with my parents as well. They're something important part of my life, and having a conversation about them, understanding about their life, because it is a whole different generation. I go and meet my grandparents as well. So just spending time with them, and because it's limited time in the world, so spending time with them as well, and that's it. And anything else I do, I read books, and yeah. You want to ask a question? You can please ask.
No, it's fine. It's fine. Let's get to the last question for this conversation. That if you would be asked to describe yourself in 2 lines or 2 words, how would you describe yourself? And who would be the role model, or who would be your role model? And how are you seeing yourself? Are you trying to make it more steps towards following your role model, and how are you going to approach it?
Okay, so I'll divide this question into 2 parts. First is explain myself in 2 words. Persistent and passionate. Double P. And role model. So, see, if you go to see, there are a lot of role models around here. In different sectors, like in advocates, I have a role model. In films, you have a role model. So there are various role models. But I always looked up to my father, because it's his, and my mother. It's both, because it's their blood, sweat, tears, and hard work which has got me here. It's gotten me a very good life, because the pain which they have come through and where they have reached in life is amazing, and I salute them for that. I look up to them because they have always showed me the way. Because the things which they have gone through, they have made it sure that I will not go through that things. They have provided me a lot of good platforms where I can express myself. And I always tried that whatever I do in life, I should always make them proud. This has always been good. So any actions of mine should always make them proud. So I may do something wrong outside, but it should never come to my house. So this is one thing. So they are my role models per se, because I look up to them every day, and I just hope that God blesses us all and we have a very good life.
Thank you so much, Vishal, for talking with us today. It has been an amazing and insightful conversation. Now, I would like to invite Mansoor for taking Vishal to the last round of our conversation. That is the fun quiz. So let's welcome Mansoor.
Okay, thank you, Jolly.
All right. Okay, Vishal. So the fun part starts now. Okay. So given the chance that you can only get one dish, one food item to eat all your life, that is one item that you have to eat for your entire life, what would that particular dish be and why?
Chicken. Indian food, roti sabji, yeah, roti sabji. Lifetime, yeah. I think that's the best food, yeah. Anywhere you go out, you can have these pastas, you can have these pizzas, you can have it for 1 day,
But
2
all your
days, 3
life,
days.
I mean, like all your life, roti sabzi.
Yeah,
You're sure about
chalega,
it.
yeah, I'm completely. Roti sabji, it's going to be very apt for me. Indian food is the best. Anyway, you go.
Okay, Jolly, over to you.
Yeah. So, what would you say? Are you the trip planner or trip spoiler of your group?
Spoiler, because अगर वो जगह पे गए हो जो ऑलरेडी जा चुके हैं तो भाई नहीं जाना explore new areas. So I spoil in such a sense that there should be an element of surprise. अगर तुम गए उधर गोवा के बीच पे गए तुमको मालूम है इधर बागा है इधर कालमगुट है अंजुना है how many times you look at same thing go to such a place where you don't know anything and then you explore something very different, you know, उसमें ज़्यादा fun है उसमें ज़्यादा kick मिलता है. So I think that.
Okay. All right. Vishal, you said you're a people's person, right?
Yeah.
So what is the downside of being a people's person?
That you cannot be friends with everyone. If you're sitting with 10 people or there's this and then 2 people are very good friends and then if you don't speak in front of them they'll feel like अरे ये लोग दोनों का अलग ही group बन गया है and all these activities. But the downside, but if you make everything very clear and all starting then it's very good. But downside is yes, people do feel left out and then they go outside your gang and they'll feel yeah, this guy was not good to us. But then it is their perspective. For me, it's always been clear that if 10 of us are sitting together, all 10 should have the same food, talk the same things, be on the same page. Because if jealousy comes in, you know, then they start pulling each other down. We have to all grow together. The entire circle should be successful. It's not that one has to be successful. That is the meaning.
All right.
So, people, persons, friends group like consists of a large group of friends. A small prefers a small but a cute group of friends.
So I have friends from school. We are 10 people. I have friends from my junior college who are 6-7 people. So the number depends upon the place where I am from. Basically, if now I'm currently in my MBA law, we are only 4-5 friends who are a core group. Plus the 2-3 juniors, that's 8 and 9. So these are the things basically. So it's about how well you connect because you have to be on the same page. There should be no amount of jealousy and go and talk behind back and all these small petty things which people do in life. Because I still remember in my corporate life as well. So when I joined as a legal executive. So my managers were not happy because they look at ladka kahan se aaya and he knows because I knew litigation part. It's very important there. So they used to get pissed on me and they used to even talk to me and they used to demean me. But my CEO was very good with me. So I was able to connect with the CEO who used to promote me and not the managers. So what I'm trying to say in this that you have to connect with the right people. If they don't match your vibe, you don't match your vibe. It's simple. Nothing else.
Okay. Vishal, as you said that, you always are trying to help out people who are wrongly accused and everything. Has there been any part in your life, okay, where you have a certain regret and until date you maybe just you yet remember that regret? Is there any kind of regret that is yet in your heart that you would like to tell us today about?
I think all these things are not to be discussed. But something less regretful. I guess not scoring good marks in my 10th standard is something I regret. I don't regret it personally, my parents regret it, to be honest. Because I was a very good student, but then friends, 10th standard, new life, I scored a bit less and my parents were sad about that. I was like, shit, yeah, come marks again. I scored 77.27. I was very happy. But but the thing is, people used to compare, na, कि उसके बच्चे को अच्छा आ गया, इसके बच्चे को अच्छा आ गया, तुमको अच्छा नहीं रहा. So from my parents' point of view, I regret it. That is what I do, but that's okay. I think nothing regretful as of yet to be told on this platform. Yeah.
Got it.
For every parent, there is a Sharma ji ka beta who scores well in the exam.
Okay, so the last question, Vishal, I would really like to ask you, okay, what would be your message to the world?
Okay, this is the question.
Yeah.
It needs not to be too heavy. Like you can go very easy on it because
No, see, I can say word like YOLO or all these things, but I want to do
yeah,
something impactful, which I feel that I should do. Trust in the process.
Okay. Are you
I
saying
would say.
that? Are you saying that from experience, or are you just saying it for the sake of
Experience.
So you would like to share what was the experience about?
So basically, see, as currently I'm doing MBA, so even I'm in the process of finding a job. And as Jolly said, I'm the placement coordinator. So I have contacted tremendous people. Matlab, to believe, you see my LinkedIn and you go, oh, bomb, bro. So many people. I have within 1 year increased my connection from 100 to 2000. And the number of my MBA law page, there were only 199 followers on that. I have taken it to 1000. So the process is very important because the process teaches you. It's not about winning and losing, it's about the process. And if you pass the process, you're bound to win in life. But then trust the process because miracles can happen any day. You never know. The time you are sleeping and you are dejected, and when the night is the darkest, then suddenly the sun will come out. So trust the process and it will make sure that it will happen for you and manifest things.
All right, that was an amazing message to everyone. Definitely over there.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Vishal, for doing this and having you here on the Coffee Conversations. Surely we're looking forward to have more conversations with you.
Sure. Thank you, Mansoor. Thank you, Jolly, and thank you to Amir sir because he gave me the opportunity to speak in front of this session. And for a candidate like me, it's very career boosting and morale boosting. It helps you to understand like how these sessions happen, and it helps me to grow on a personal level as well. So I would like to thank the entire Synergy team as well for giving me this opportunity, and Prime Infotech. Thank you so much.
All right, Vishal. Likewise. Thank you very much. And we'll see you in the
Thank you.
next Coffee Conversation. Thank you.
Sure.
Bye.
Thank you.